The universal map of awareness. Different languages, one shared experience. The deepening states of awareness do not belong to a single tradition or culture. The movement from identifying with the contents of the mind to the observing awareness, from there into witnessing, and eventually into a quiet, self-knowing presence, has been described in remarkably similar ways across different eras and disciplines. The approaches outlined below represent this journey expressed through different conceptual languages. This book does not aim to teach or explain these teachings. Rather, it seeks to open a contemporary field of awareness, one that gently points to the lived experience they indicate through stories. 1. Ken Wilber, Expanding Perspectives of Consciousness. In this approach, consciousness is not seen as a fixed state, but as an expanding and deepening perspective. At the initial stage, the individual lives in identification with thoughts, emotions, and perceptions as they arise. Awareness at this level is content-dependent. What is experienced is assumed to be who one is. Over time, a field of observation begins to form, an awareness that notices the contents of the mind. Thoughts are still present, but they are no longer taken as absolute reality. At this point, consciousness starts to differentiate itself from its contents. At a deeper level, not only thoughts, but the very position from which they are observed becomes visible. This stage is often described as witnessing consciousness. Here, awareness is no longer absorbed in mental activity, but recognizes itself as the space in which that activity appears. At the furthest edge of this perspective, the distinction between observer and observed begins to soften. Consciousness is no longer experienced as a particular viewpoint, but as an open field of awareness that is aware of itself. Wilber's integral approach, particularly articulated in integral psychology, describes this deepening not as a progression of mental structures, but as evolving ways in which consciousness experiences itself.